Welcome back, my friends, to a ranked video from Mission for Tuition. Remember, it's called Mission for Tuition. We're trying to raise money for our son's middle and high school tuition, not through donations, but through views. So like, comment, subscribe, do all the stuff for the YouTube algorithm to help out the channel. Now, I've been asked multiple times during live streams about ranked play. So I figured I'd throw in a video here and there. If you guys like it, I'll do more of them, but I'm going to try to cut out a lot of the stuff in between and get to the most important things. Augments. Really didn't have an amazing choice here, so I just went with healing. Same kind of rule as I play in Hyper Roll. Since I got a Gangplank and was able to pick up Graves out of the NPC round, I decided to level up because I feel like I have a strong opening team. If I have a strong opening team, I want to try to get on a win streak. This is for Econ. So I'm going to level up and then try to put items on someone who's either going to be an ultimate carry, in this case it could be Gangplanked, or an item holder. But I want to try to get either on a win streak or a lose streak depending on how things are going. I generally like the win streak better. In this case, since I haven't lost a match yet, I pre-level going into the carousel, also because I didn't have enough gold to trigger the additional gold for income. One of the nice things about having an early Gangplank is if he kills someone with his ult, you're going to pilfer some gold like that. Further, now look at my board. I am deciding between whether to go into Innovator Scrap or to kind of stick with the Twinshot board. That's why I'm not selling anything at this point to go to 10 gold and get the additional interest. I'm not sure which way my build is going. I'll spare you dancing around the carousel. I picked up a tier that I'm hoping to use later. I'd also at this point switch over to a little bit of Innovator, so I'm getting both the Twinshot and the Innovator buff. My goal is simple. I want to continue the win streak as long as possible, keep Gangplank in there pilfering gold, and just try and see what the next augment's going to be so I can decide what build I want to commit into. After going through a couple more fights and the NPC round, I'm still undefeated and decide to just keep making Gangplank a little bit stronger so I can continue to get more gold. While this strategy seems to be working nicely at this point, I can't help but notice I'm running into a lot of innovators, including a team earlier who wasn't an innovator yet but had the self-repair augment, so I know I'm going to have to pivot away from this. A general rule I like to follow, and you've seen if you saw the duo video, is I like to be level 6 at 3-2. That's where I like to stabilize my team. Now in this case it didn't need too much stabilization, but I roll down a little just to try to get the strongest team I can together. I had locked my shop for the Gangplank at the bottom and was pretty confident I was going to win this, especially as I was watching their teams start dropping around me. I still had my Kog'Maw, my Gangplank, my Ezreal, and they just had a single 2-star Darius. But as you can see, sometimes a single 2-star Darius with the right item, in this case the Bramble Vest, is more than enough. This loss then leads me into the next set of augments, which is going to change the trajectory of the entire game. I get an option for Mercenary Soul. Since I already have a Gangplank that I'm itemizing and I've just picked up a second, I decide to go that way, and this will change my philosophy for how I go forward. I'm not particularly a fan of Mercenary in Hyper Roll because there aren't enough matches to make it pay off, but here a loss isn't necessarily a bad thing. I have a long time between me and ultimate death, and each loss will add a little more gold, items, champions, something into that chest that I can score on when I win. Now normally I'm not going to show you carousels because I find them to be kind of long, boring efforts, especially in videos. But in this case I'm showing it to you just because I was rather surprised that given where I was actually able to get my hands on a spatula. I know with all the hearts and souls in the augments they're not as valuable as they used to be, but I still like them a lot as an additional item to have, especially with Mercenary. I ended up making the Mutant emblem on Gangplank because when this match started I had checked out the Mutant augment and it worked very, very well with Twinshot, so having it on Gangplank was going to be helpful to my overall strategy. I've also at this point still kept my Innovator Twinshot, now Mutant build going because it seems to be working. I'm not losing that much, I'm still towards the top of the charts, and Gangplank is pilfering a lot of gold, especially with that Mutant emblem allowing him to attack more often. And also, since I'm at the top of the health charts, I'm keeping my gold above 50 at all times. I'm going to slow roll my levels up since Gangplank is getting so much gold for me through pilfering, and overall, winning is getting me more and more chests. And this is also right here why I said Gangplank could end up being the ultimate carry for the team. He's strong enough to take it out. And again, I was surprised at the carousel because I figured what I wanted was going to be gone long before I got to it. I was eyeing that Tom Kench and I thought, oh, they're going to take him, but no, they didn't. And they left me a 5-cost Mercenary legendary unit for my team. This gave me the ability to finally make the swap I needed to and go up to 5 mercenaries instead of continuing down the Innovator scrap. Again, there were a few Innovator scraps out there, and so I was competing against them. But now I can go to the 5 mercenaries and potentially 5 mutants as well, along with my Twinshots. And you'll see again here why I like Gangplank so much and kind of wish that Mercenary was a little more playable in Hyper Roll. He is so strong, especially in Twinshot Mutant build like I have here, but just when you think he's going down, nope, he's moving from person to person, pilfering gold, finishing them off, and ultimately winning the match for us, leading the damage charts by a ton. We pick up the Misfortune and then get the chance to get an Unstable Evolution, which is going to be absolutely fantastic for our Mutant plan at this point. We're able to grab a whole bunch of gold out of the chest, double up our Misfortune, and start putting her in with an eye towards 7 mercenaries now. With the decision made in my mind that Mercenary Mutant is the way to go, I can feed Graves over to Tom Kench, get some excellent tank items on him, and get ready for the next fight. This team immediately worried me when I saw the gold Katarina with the Hand of Justice Ionic Spark, which is just one item away from being an absolutely perfect Katarina build, but I guess I shouldn't have worried because Gangplank is just a little bit too strong for this, and he takes her out. Now, as much as I like winning, given the fact that I'm running over 5 mercenaries at this point, losing is not such a bad thing, and you'll see why in a moment. I'm willing to take the loss, and I actually take it rather excitedly because I know it has a chance of giving me something good. I already had a Nico's Help waiting in the chest, and now I've got an additional 4-cost champion in there. So with that information, it's time to go up to the final level and finish this comp off. At this point, I just go ahead and make the bodyguard as I prepare for the next round of whatever I can get. I just want to get things up to 2 stars and make them as strong as possible. I'd love to find a WAAAY because that will finish off my mercenary build, but I don't know if that's going to be able to happen. I decide to give up on the 5 mutant dream and just head over to 4 Twinshots because my Gangplank is my strongest champion, but I'm not quite strong enough with my backup Twinshots for them to win. I know basically I just need one more win to open that chest and get all the goodies inside that's going to seal me the win for this game, but I have to get it. So this final carousel is important because it changed everything for me in terms of this game. I saw the Mundo with the mercenary items on them. I knew I was going to get a clear shot at it because no one else was running mercenary or mutant, and that gave me the perfect opportunity to pick that up. This would 2-star my Mundo, which would give me more power in my front line and take me up to 7 mercenaries, which would give me a ton more viability. Now here's where everything changes. I roll a couple of times and see a second Jinx. I know that I have a Nico's Help sitting in that chest, so I decide it's time to just flip all the Gangplank items over to Jinx, turn her into the mutant, and if I can win, one more match, it's basically GG, because she'll be up at 2 stars, I'll be getting 7 Merc bonuses going forward, which will mean a fantastic amount of gifts and items that will keep making my team that much stronger, but the problem is I have to win to get there. Now this feels like a must-win fight for me. I need to win because I need to get what's in that chest. I'm a little surprised by the team I'm facing because they have that amazingly itemized Katarina, but they have items on their bench that can make her stronger. A Rabadon's Death Cap, create another assassin. There's a lot they could have done, but because I now have a 2-star Tom Kench, he can take the damage and ultimately chew her up, spit her out, and win me everything that's in that chest that I need to go forward. And you will see, it's a lot, including a Tome of Traits, an insane amount of gold, and the Nico's help that I could use to bring Jinx up to 2 stars, but I might also be able to roll her. Ultimately here I decide on the Scholar emblem. Since Yuumi is a Scholar, it will give additional mana throughout the entire team. And I'll save you having to watch me roll through a ton of gold. Yes, I was able to 2-star the Jinx without using the Nico's help, and the Yuumi as well. The one left will be the Urgot, who I can use it for, but right now I'm just looking at Jinx to carry this thing all the way home, which looks like it could be very possible. As you can see, the Jinx-Yuumi combo, especially with the additional attacks from the Mutant buff, is just unreasonably strong. When they land their ults, it can pretty much take out a team almost instantly. And with that win, we are into the top 4. And picking up lots of additional gifts along the way thanks to the 7 Mercenary buff. Remember how I mentioned there were a bunch of innovators? Well, someone actually got to the dragon, something I thought was almost completely unbeatable, but I guess they hadn't run into a 2-star Jinx and a 2-star Yuumi that together could do enough damage to the team that Urgot could finish them off. And I'll save you the final carousel where I just grabbed an additional Mutant buff and stuck it on Gangplank just for fun. Really, this is the Jinx show, much like Arcane was at this point, and she is just doing all of the damage. And if all of that wasn't enough, the chest gifted me a Giant's Belt, so I could now make a Chemtech emblem, so now I've added Chemtech to my list of many, many traits. I moved Jinx around just a little bit so that the other team doesn't know exactly where she's going to be, because I know that's what they're most afraid of, but then end up moving her back to where I originally had her, just for what could be the final match. They did manage to guess right that I put her back and Zephyr'd her, but this is Jinx. She's not going to be stopped by a little Zephyr. She's going to launch, land, and wreck. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video and enjoyed Ranked. Let me know if you want me to do more of these, and have an absolutely awesome day.